life on Turkey Lane. I'm so glad you're here tonight. I'm doing a special little like raised bed out here at the tiny farmhouse. We have put like a skirting around the camper here, but we decided to leave the hitch on the camper in case in the future this would ever have to be moved. It can be moved. It still has the tires and the axles on it. We don't want to move it. However, if down the road this place ever sells or we need to get this out of here, I'll just be able to take this little garden bed away and we'll be able to hook up to it. Probably have to put some new tires on it or air them up for sure, but anyway, so tonight I thought we would fill up this little garden bed with some soil, and then here in the near future I'm going to put some plants in it. Now this area here is all shaded, and so I'm going to have to really do my research and pick out some plants that do well in a shady area. But yeah, so I'm going to go over to the topsoil pile over here, the big mound of topsoil, and we're going to shovel up some topsoil, and then we're going to put it in this bed. Now I'm just going to do about the bottom half of this bed with the topsoil, and then we're going to add some good like potting soil and compost and things like that on top so we can plant our plants in it. So let's get started. Okay guys, so as you can see, I'm over here at the topsoil mound here, and so we're going to shovel up and put some of this dirt in the little garden bed over at the tiny farmhouse there. And I'm losing daylight, so I need to get this done. So let's get to shoveling, y'all. Okay guys, so let's get some of this dirt. Now, like I said, I'm going to fill that bed up with about half topsoil here. Now this has been pretty good topsoil. The only concern I have about it is now it's river bottom soil, and it doesn't have rocks or anything in it. The only concern that I can see is that since we've had it, I've not really seen a whole lot of weeds or anything growing up in it. And you might think, well, that's great, because you know you don't want to be weeding a whole lot of stuff. But my concern is that it's maybe been sprayed with something. I don't know that it has. I think the guy that we got it from, he said it was sifted. I don't think it was sprayed. But only time will tell if we get things to grow in it. Looks nice and rich though. I mean, it's got a good color. I've got a question for you guys. Been seeing lots of little holes in my yard, little round holes, and I've done a little bit of research and I really can't find out a whole lot about it. But I'm afraid they're snake holes. And now I haven't ever seen anything come out of them. And they could be, they're not moles. I think I read that it could be snake holes, it could be like rodent holes. But we've got a bunch of them this year. And I'm not really sure what to think about them. So if you know anything about them, leave me a comment and let me know. So I can figure out what I want to do about it. Okay, that looks like a pretty good load there. So let's go dump that in the bed. here we are with our first load. And I thought about just dumping it in here. However, I don't want to get it all over. So let's go ahead and shovel most of the dirt out of here first and get that in the bed, and then I can maybe dump the rest out. But I think it's going to take a good couple of loads to fill this up halfway. But we're going to get her done. I want to kind of get some color in this area. If you guys have any suggestions on what kind of plants you think I should put over here, let me know. Some shade-loving plants that will add some color to this area. These landscape bricks here that we got, we actually didn't have to pay anything for those. Last year when we were doing the tiny farmhouse, somebody up the road here was redoing a lot of their landscaping, and they had set all these blocks and even some flat like stepping stone blocks out at the edge of their property for free for whoever wanted them. So Andy loaded these up and brought them over here to me, and we're finally putting them to use here. So I think the wheelbarrow kind of decided to lend itself a hand here. Okay, so I'm just going to finish dumping that little bit in there, and then we'll go back and get us another load. Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to take maybe a good 3 loads to get us a good start there. And it's looking like it's probably going to take me a good 3 loads. Try to make this as less messy as possible. But I think it's going to take about 3 loads to get this to the place I want it to be. So let's go shovel some dirt. Here with my second wheelbarrow load, and let's just get that shoveled in there. I'd like to get the topsoil in tonight, if possible. Boy, this wheelbarrow has sure come in handy. I'm just thinking this may take more than 3 loads. I don't know yet. Since I got this a little lighter, I'm just going to see if I can dump this in there. Alrighty. That worked out pretty good. That's looking pretty good, but I think I'm gonna need a couple more loads, guys. This is taking a lot more than I thought it would, so I'm gonna try to get the next couple loads in before the daylight quits out on me. And so then the next time I see ya, we're gonna be putting some good soil in here and getting some plants in this thing. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, this is load number 3, and honestly, y'all, I think it's gonna be the last one tonight. I am pooped. So let's get this in here. Whew. That's a job, guys. Hard work is good for you, though. If you work hard, it pays off. And you know what? Looking at everything here, this might be pretty much all I need. May just need a little bit more. So we can do that tomorrow. Let me get this in there. I'm going to try to get this last bit tucked in the middle there. If I can get that over there, maybe not. Okay, so I've got that third wheelbarrow in here, and just gonna tuck some down in the center there. Get that all filled up. And I may not need a whole lot more of that topsoil. I may just be able to add a couple bags of the good soil in here, and we'll be ready to plant this stuff. So that's a good hour or so's work, and I'm feeling it. So here, guys, here are the holes that I'm talking about, and you really can't see down in them here. That one you can see pretty good in. Let's see. There. A whole bunch of them there. There. Got some here. There's just a whole bunch of them throughout the whole yard this year. And like I said, I'm kind of concerned about them. There's some over here by the tree where the birds eat. And so yeah, there's more. Hey, that is tiresome work, guys. But I think I'm done for tonight. Anyway, if you know what those holes are in the ground, kind of worried about them, because we've had them in the yard before, but not quite as much and in the abundance that they are. And if you know what they are or what they could be and any solutions for them, or maybe even if they're harmless, I'd like to know that. I'm kind of thinking there's some kind of a snake hole. I hope not and pray not. I've never seen anything coming and going out of them, but I don't want to see anything coming and going out of them either. So I'm a little chicken when it comes to that. And also, now you probably won't see this video before I get done planting some plants in the little flower bed over here, but I'm looking to add a burst of color over here in this side of the yard over at the end of the tiny farmhouse here. And so if you know any shade loving plants that would add a burst of color and that are not too expensive, I've got a couple in mind, and one of them is really expensive. So I'm going to do some research and see if I can maybe divide it up so I get like 2 or 3 plants out of one. And so yeah, so if you have any comments, be sure to let me know what those are, any ideas about that. And also, if you haven't done it so far, you need to go and watch my last video that I just uploaded about the cupola. I want to know if you think I should order a rooster weather vane to put on the cupola for the tiny farmhouse here. Now, rooster is kind of my farmhouse theme and my decorating and stuff like that, and I love them. But also, as you know, my channel is called Life on Turkey Lane, and I live on Turkey Lane. And so if you think it would be better for me to put a turkey weather vane up here, let me know that. Comment on that video. Go watch that video and comment there. I'm tallying up the score. And so whichever one gets the most votes is the one I'm going to go with. So you want to be sure to go over there and take your vote on that. So and so I'm done for tonight, but I will be back here and just in your time it's going to be just a few seconds. In my time it's going to be a day or so, but I will be back here shortly, and we're going to do some more work on this cute little flower bed over here, and I'll see you in just a minute. Okay guys, so through the magic of video, it's been a few seconds for you, but it's been a couple days for me since I've been able to get back out here to this little flower bed here next to the tiny farmhouse. I've got a big bag of this potting mix with fertilizer here that we're going to use to finish filling this up. Hopefully it'll be enough. I think it should be enough. And I've got a couple plants to put in here. So we'll get to that as soon as I get this all put in here. Okay, yeah, that's going to be good. I think we're going to, this should fill it up pretty good. Okay, that's looking nice and rich. And now I'm going to try to keep the soil. I'm going to try to keep the soil off of my wood here for the tiny farmhouse, because I don't want that to rot at anything. But I think we're good here. This looks pretty good. Okay, and now as far as plants go, I've got a couple shade varieties here, but one of the varieties I have is a mainly sun-loving variety, but it may do okay. I'm gonna hope that it does okay in here, because I liked it so much I just couldn't pass it up. So, but anyway, we have this. It's a coral bells, or a heuchera. You might know it as a heuchera. Many people call it coral bells, and I believe this is a relatively new variety. And now when I saw it at Lowe's a couple weeks ago, it was a little bit brighter colored, looked more like citrusy colors, and but it's called Magma, and I'm thinking that it will turn primarily red. I really kind of wanted to keep the oranges and yellows and greens, but either way, I kind of liked this variety, and so I bought one of these. Now, this was relatively expensive. I mean, for me, it was very expensive. It was $16.98. However, because it's such a large, it's like a 1-gallon pot. Heucheras are like lots of different perennials that they can be divided. And so I'm hoping to divide this into about 3 And even though it'll look kind of sparse right now in here, over the season and maybe even next season, because he's come back, it's a perennial, I'll have 3 big plants in there for the price. So that's a good idea to save you money. That's a good tip to save you money. So I'm going to try to get this in the ground here. And now heucheras are shallow rooters. They don't root real deep. So I'm just going to go ahead and make me a couple little spots right in here. We're going to see if we can divide this in about 3 plants here. And it actually looks like this one's perfect. And all you do to see if I can wiggle these leaves apart, they're kind of intertwined together, makes it kind of difficult. But all you do is you take your plant, and now see, I've got kind of a divide right here in this plant where it looks like this is almost like I've already taken one section off, and so this is 2 other sections. So I'm going to get 3 plants out of that one container, and see, wasn't that easy? And so now I have 3 plants here. I'm going to hope I can get these buried deep enough in the ground. There we go. We got that one planted in the ground. Let's get one of these other ones in here. And now for another variety. Now this is a shade-loving plant. It's called Ambella Intense Purple Bellflower. This was $6.98, but it is also dividable, and I'm going to try to get 3 out of it. I like to plant in, depending on the space, I like to plant in odd numbers. So, and now the purple don't really match the colors of the heuchera or the clover that I have down here. But it was really the only shade-loving plant I could find that had flowers on it. So I think it'll be okay, and we're just going to add some color here. So let's get these other heucheras in. Okay, now, and all I'm doing is I'm just spreading the soil out right here where I want this to be, getting down deep in there. And let's see, I need to get that one a little bit deeper, so I'm just digging that out some. And I'm just filling in around that root wad. And there we go. We have 3 heucheras in there now. And now for this, I'm just gonna kind of fill in between, and this is more of a ground cover, a little bit of a creeper. And we're gonna do the same thing with it. We're gonna divide it. And see if I can get about 3 out of it. I hope I can, but it's not looking like I will be able to. Let's see here. Well, this one's not looking like I'm able to divide it. So let's see. I'll just go ahead and put it up here towards the front, over on this side. There we go. And then I know the clover should be able to be divided. Okay, now like I said, this is actually a sun-loving plant, but I could not pass this up. I don't think I've ever seen this plant. I'm sure it's been out there many times. I've just never looked at it. But it's called 4 Luck Red-Green Clover. And isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I mean, it's just clover, but it's a variegated clover, red and green. I mean, that is so beautiful. So we're gonna try it in here, and I'm gonna try to divide this too. Now the bellflower was not able to be divided. It just wasn't big enough. But this one I think I should be able to get 2 or 3 clumps out of. So we're gonna try. And it's kind of root bound there, so we're gonna see what we can do to get a few of these separated maybe. And you really shouldn't have to worry. I mean, clover is pretty hardy. I wouldn't think you should have to worry about ripping the roots too badly. Because like I said, most perennials can be divided, so even if I just get 2, be happy, because this was $7.98. So if you can get more than one plant for that $7.98, you're better off. Okay, we got that one in the ground back there, and I'm going to put this one, I guess, up here. It's not very evenly spaced apart or whatever, but I think it'll be just fine. So, and this is another, like a ground cover. It's a filler. And so we're just going to push that down in there and get all the soil around it. Make sure it's got nice contact with the soil. Okay, so there you go, guys. Now this probably isn't the perfect garden bed. And like I said, the heucheras are a lot larger and taller. This one should stand up once it gets up. And it seems like it's a little bit different color than the rest of them. We've got, looks like a greenish one and a yellowish one and a red one. But that's okay. I like the color over here. And then I may get another pot of the purple plants, and the clover should be okay. Those, the clover and the little bellflowers are ground covers, and they should fill in nicely around these heucheras here and just look nice and pretty. So I think we're doing good with all this, and I just like the color in here. So we'll keep an eye on it and see how they fill out. And we're supposed to be getting some rain over the weekend, so that'll water these in nice and good. And I'm going to try to clean off the dirt from the little camper here, the tiny farmhouse, and so it doesn't sit on the wood right there. But yeah, I'm really liking that. I think it's looking pretty, and I may get another one of the little purple flowers later on just to fill in some more, but I like it. So thank you for joining me tonight here at Life on Turkey Lane. I hope you enjoyed this video. The flowers make me happy. The color, the flowers, and I love that clover. I've never seen it before, but this is one of those plants that, even though I was able to divide this in 2, I probably could have divided it in 3, but 2 was good enough. And as it grows, I can dig parts of it out, and if I want to plant it somewhere else in the yard, I can do that. If it doesn't particularly like this shady area, I can take it out and plant it someplace else in the yard, so no loss. I think this is going to fill in nicely. Now, I know this one heuchera at the front is bigger than all the rest of it, but I wanted it there to kind of hide. I wanted it to kind of hide the little pipe that's kind of sticking up there from the hitch. So so that'd be nice. Once this fills in, that'd be real nice. I hope you guys have a good night. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and stay tuned, because the next video should be a video about the Dollar Tree stackable planters. I'm going to show you an easy and free watering system for them. So see you next time. Bye, guys.